We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council Legislative Work Session for today, which is June the 29th. We'll have our invocation that will be done by Minister Alvin Harrison of the Daystar Tabernacle Church, and after that, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Mayor Pro Tem Larry Yockey. Would you please stand for the invocation?
Good evening, Mayor Robinson, Douglas Council, City Council. It's a pleasure to be here. And starting off with prayer, know that prayer is always important, has always been important from the founding fathers, even down to today. And so we're going to open with prayer. Father God, we thank you on this evening for this chance and this opportunity to be even in your presence as we are all gathered here, God, for counsel. God, and you said in your word that prayer is to be made for those that are in authority, God, and those that govern. So we stand today praying, God, for these leaders that are present here on today. And God, before we ask you for anything, we'll always say thank you for everything that you've already done. So God, we pray now for the spirit of wisdom and the spirit of counsel, that it will be present here in the room, God, that as decisions are made, that they will be governed, Lord, by your will and by your ways. God, we thank you that even as we leave this place, Lord, that you will shield and protect us, God, that those that are even on the way coming, that you will shield and protect them and allow them to arrive safely. We thank you for all these blessings. We honor you as we ask them in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem Yockey, and that beautiful prayer. Thank you so much, Minister Alvin Harrison. We appreciate you coming in. Tell Pastor Horton we said hello, Apostle Horton. Yes, sir. Bring him greetings. We don't have any announcements or presentations outside of our protocol for the meeting, and I will go over that, and then we'll get to the agenda. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Douglasville's Legislative Work Session. This is a work session where agenda items are presented for discussion and no official action will be taken tonight. Official action will be taken on the items discussed tonight on Monday at 6 p.m. If the business you're here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the item for comments from citizens and delegates section to discuss your business. There are a few protocol items I'd like to take this time to talk about, and we ask that you would listen closely so there will not be any misunderstandings. I ask that you keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make their decision. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. You'll receive a warning from the chair if you deviate from this requirement, and the second deviation will result in you being requested to leave the chambers. Only one person will speak at a time. Please do not applaud or react to speakers. Speak from the audience, cheer or carry on conversations with others in the audience that will be disruptive to this meeting's proceedings. I remind you that we are only required to accept public comments on zoning matters, and we are not required to accept public comment on any other items before this council. We accept public comment on items based because of we feel will enable us to make better decisions on zoning matters. If you have a cell phone or iPad or any technology or such, we'd ask that you would please put those in silent mode or turn them off so that they will not be disruptive to the meeting. Now, the agenda items will be handled as follows. The committee chairperson will read the agenda item. Then the person representing that agenda item or the applicant will make his or her presentation, and that will be the only opportunity that they have to speak. The mayor and council members will possibly ask questions. After that, the committee chair will ask for comments or statements from the audience. There's a maximum time frame of 30 minutes for those to speak in favor of the item and 30 minutes opposed, and each person will have 5 minutes to speak. When you come to the podium, please provide your name and address for the record for our city clerk, Ms. Vicki Acker, to my right. And we address your comments to the chair and not the members of the audience. And we're excited to hear from you. And if you're not here for any of those zoning board items, but you're here for another item, you're welcome at that time to come and speak, but give your name and address for the record as well. Okay, we'll move on to the first agenda item, which is Public Safety Committee, and that's chaired by Councilmember Sam Davis.
Mayor, I have one item. Request for a change in agent outlet manager for the alcohol beverage license for the retail package sales of wine and malt spiritually in the following establishment: licensee Walmart Stores East LP, DBA Walmart number 1488. Location 7001 Concourse Parkway. Proposed agent outlet manager Ricky Gable. Current agent outlet manager John Shirley. The required fees have been paid into the city finance department. Will the applicant come down and state your name and information?
All right, my name is Ricky Gable. I'm the store manager of the Walmart over on Concourse Parkway. My address is 7680 Banks Mill Road, and that's in Douglasville, Georgia.
Hey, do we have any questions from the council?
Mr. Chairman, any problems from the police department, any complaints or issues?
It's a renewal and a change of outlet manager. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Chief.
Are you familiar with how you go about training your employees for alcohol sales and tobacco?
Yes, sir. We actually have what we call computer-based training.
Could you put the mic down just
sorry.
a little? There we go.
There we go.
Thank you.
We actually have what we call computer-based training, which is GLMS and pathways. They have to complete that at 100% at all times before they can actually sell alcohol or tobacco. Also, we actually have a policy in place where we check all IDs.
Okay, if there's no more question, we'll put this on the agenda for a vote on Monday night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item B, appoint the candidate to the Douglas County Animal Control Advisory Board for a 2-year term to expire July 3rd, 2019.
Councilman Davis, Mayor and Council, you all have 2 candidates for this position. So on Monday night, we will have ballots for you all to choose someone to serve in this role.
Okay, so I'd like to put this on the agenda for Monday night, and we'll vote on it. That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. We'll move on to Community and Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Under Community and Economic Development, we have one item tonight. Authorize the mayor to sign a service agreement with the Cultural Arts Council, Douglasville, Douglas County Incorporated, in the amount of $4,875 for tourism services and in the amount of $45,000 for general cultural services to be provided to the city of Douglasville for the period of July 1, 2017 to June 30th, 2018. Do we have someone here to speak on behalf of that item, Ms. Hampton?
Yes, sir. I will make brief comments, and we do have representatives from the CAC in the audience if you would like to speak with them. The amounts that you see listed in your item are reflective of the amounts that we had in last year's agreement. We did not change those in the budget. We had our budget workshops. I didn't hear any feedback from anyone looking to change those amounts, so we did keep those the same. So this would be reflective of that for FY18, if you so choose to approve.
Thank you very much. Do I have questions or comments from council concerning this item? I know that we have a letter in our packet dated in April from the Cultural Arts Council and their request for funding and assistance that you all can look over. I don't see what we had done in 17. This may be a small increase. Ms. Hampton, do you recall if this is an increase from what we had done in 17 in the previous budget?
In FY17, we did an increase, so this is reflective of that increase.
Mm-hmm.
It is different from what you had in FY16, so it's a higher amount. If you would like, I can make certain to email you the past 5-year totals if you're interested in that before
That
Monday
may be
night.
helpful.
Yes, please do.
Questions, comments?
Madam Chair.
Not an increase from last year.
No, correct. You did increase last year, and this is keeping that amount the same.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
can we
go
hear
ahead.
from the Can we hear from the CAC?
Of course, sure. Let's see if there's any other comments, first of all, and then we'll ask Ms. Hill to come down. Go ahead, Mr. Siegel.
Just one comment, the amounts that are here are what we approved in the budget last week, so any variance from this would be a budget amendment.
That is correct. Anything else? Anyone else? We're going to ask Ms. Hill to come down and her representative and see if there might be questions. Does someone have a question for Ms. Davina Grace Hill? You're welcome to come down and address us, Ms. Hill, if you would like. How are you?
Fine. What should
Oh,
I, name, address, and all that?
yes, name and address for the record, ma'am.
Davina Grace Hill, address 3896 LAU ADA Drive, Douglasville, Executive Director, Cultural Arts Council.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hill. We want to thank you. I want to personally thank you for your continued aggressive work toward making that Cultural Arts Center better and better each year. I know you have a great report. I know that we've been involved in a number of activities throughout the year, and it continues to get better, and I'm glad to see those improvements. But I want to thank you for all your hard work and for all your staff. Is there something that you would like to say?
Well, I appreciate hearing that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Last week we had our summer art camp at Hunter Park, and thanks to the great help from Kendrick and Travis, we had a spectacular day. The parents are still phoning us saying, thank you, my kids want to come back. The behavior problems we had before are gone. They're very happy with what they saw. So that kept us busy last week. Then, of course, Taste of Douglasville, less than a month ago. We had about 10,000 people here. We brought down to the downtown. I think we would have had more, but the weather that we're experiencing out there today was even worse that Saturday. Those of you who were there remember how suddenly it came up and blew everything apart. But we had a great time. Larger number of restaurants than we'd had before, lots of vendors. We had a wrap-up meeting the other night, and everybody was happy and gave some good suggestions for some positive improvements, because we always want to improve. So our role is to support the arts in the community, but it's also to bring people downtown to appreciate our community, not just the arts, but the whole place. So thank you for your support in letting us do that.
Again, I want to thank you for all your hard work. I know the Taste was a good example of improvement year over year, and I'm looking forward to the chili cook-off here before you know it. The fall will be here, and we'll be at it again. So, again, I'm going to challenge my fellow council and mayor maybe to try cooking some chili and see how you do in the competition. That would be a great addition.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to just comment and thank Ms. Hill for everything that you've been doing with the Cultural Arts Council. Of course, I served on the CAC for years, and this past Taste of Douglasville was asked to be the judge for the vendors. It was really difficult to choose because they were all really, really good. So it was a great opportunity for my family and I to enjoy the Taste of Douglasville as we were walking through and scoring the scorecard for the judges. So thank you for that
Thank you
opportunity.
for helping us with that.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? Anyone in the, yes, sir.
Chairman, I have, in your brainstorming of the taste for 2018, do you have plans for eliminating dogs and more food trucks, and besides a whole lot of the small vendors?
We did have food trucks this year. We had about 4 of them, I believe. And we will certainly look at doing that again next year.
What about dogs? I see a lot of dogs out on the at the Taste of Douglasville. A lot of dogs.
I'm sorry?
Dogs.
A lot of pets, you mean, and the just pets?
Right. No, not hot dogs. Pets.
I think his concern, Ms. Hill,
Dogs.
Mr. Davis, his concern, I think, is the number of animals that were brought to the Taste of Douglasville, and he was questioning that. Is there something that is being done to slow that down? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Davis?
Right.
Just saying
right.
mixed in with food that the
Right.
animals were. He had gotten some complaints about
I
that.
see. Did you receive any complaints, Ms. Hill, concerning that?
Capacity?
Any complaints concerning the animals and the food in the same general area?
Oh, that may be have been a problem, a part of it, because we used to have the greyhounds in the alleyway for the kids, and with the plaza closure, they may have moved over. But that's a good point to keep them.
They were actually to the west side, up behind
They were in the alley.
Fabiano's, Gumbo's, that area, on the back side of the food truck area or the foods. This year, I recall seeing them there.
Yeah, and I did notice this year more patrons brought their pets, which,
That's
I
what
guess
he
we
was
can't
referring,
Is
he
that
was
what you're
referring
referring
to
to, Mr.
patrons.
Davis?
Yes,
yeah.
patrons bringing their pets and doing their business in the street, and our guys having to have to, you know, just like in the circus, scoop up. I didn't,
Okay.
you know, I didn't like that.
Okay, any other comment? All right, we'll have this item on the agenda for Monday night, and we appreciate again all that you do, and look forward to working with you again this year.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Mayor, that's all that we have under Community and Economic Development. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next agenda item is Planning and Development Committee, and that's also chaired by Councilman Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Planning and Development Committee, we have several items tonight. The first item is refer to the Zoning Board a proposed ordinance to provide for a quality growth development overlay district and to amend the zoning map to add a map of this overlay district. Who is handling that? Ms.
I'll
Hampton?
take that for you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Ms. Littlefield, go ahead.
The ordinance is in the same form. You have seen it before in committee. It's plugged into all the right code sections for the city. You will remember that the county's proposed ordinance is substantially similar to ours. Provides for certain upgrades of development within the Quality Development Overlay District, which is essentially on the east side of town. Your ordinance will include the zoning map showing the area of the city that's included.
Okay. So this is specifically for the eastern area of the county,
Yes.
this
Yes, sir.
particular, and there is a map that is included in our packet. Are there any questions or comments?
This is they had the meeting at the county courthouse. Am I on the right?
Yes, that was the meeting, Mr. Miller.
Yes.
I'm familiar with.
That is correct.
Is your mic on?
The light is on. Yes, sir.
Is everyone able to hear us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions or comments concerning this item? That will be on our agenda for Monday night
Chairman?
for a vote. Yes.
So basically, the Sweetwater study area included portions that were in the city and portions in the county. And the county has already approved the overlay district
That's
for
correct.
their portion. And now it's up to us to take action on it or not. We've already extended our moratorium
Yes.
so that we have time to do this, because it does take time. If, after we vote on this Monday, if we vote on it to refer it to the zoning board, then it needs to be advertised, and then they can act and then refer it back to us, and then we can vote. So that does take some time. So that's why we extended the moratorium
That's
last week
correct.
when we met. The map that we have in our attachments is just the portions in the city. Definitely the amount of acreage in the county is much, much more than what we have on here. If we had their map, you would see only their portions. You put
Yes.
it two together, you see the full Sweetwater plan. So that's all I'm going to say, because I think I'm going to be drowned out by the rain.
Thank you, Mr. Siegel. Is there any comment, public comment? Anyone else like to say anything about this item? Okay, if not, I'm going to request this be placed on the consent agenda for Monday night.
Okay.
And we'll move on to item B. Adopt an ordinance to amend various subsections of the Development Code Ordinance to clarify references to the city engineer, the engineering department, and the city planning and development committee, and to amend various sections of this ordinance to change the name of the zoning and development committees. Ms. Littlefield, you're going to handle that also?
Yes, sir.
Thank
This is a housekeeping ordinance. You still have some obsolete references in your development ordinance that we should make changes for. We no longer have in-house engineers, so those references need to refer to the development official. Your planning and development committee is referred to still as the zoning and development committee in some places in that ordinance, and needs to be changed over.
This is basically just to align titles with people that are in spots and to correctly identify the planning and development committee. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
To identify it correctly. Okay. Any question or comment concerning that item? Any public comment? If not, I would also like to place that on the consent agenda for Monday. Thank you. Item C, consider a request for revised plat approval for Crossroads Church for the purpose of combining 3 tracts for 14.3 acres at 5960 Stewart Parkway, land lot 130, District 2, Section 5, parcel 0130002500105. The application is by Aaron McCullough of Hughes Ray Company Incorporated. Mr. McCullough, would you come forward and please state your name and address for the record and bring us up to date on this request, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Aaron McCullough. Address is 6554 East Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134.
Thank you, sir.
So, Councilman Adams, we have submitted an application to combine a few tracts of land that are owned by Crossroads Church. We came to the council several months ago with the church's request. They purchased a tract of land from the United States Postal Service that was a disposal of some excess property that was in the rear of the church. That request was granted. That real estate transaction is closed. The church now owns that property. So we are now coming to you. They are essentially cleaning up. They've purchased various tracts around them, consolidating all of those into one tract, essentially.
Okay. Mr. McCullough, just so that council and mayor, we do have a copy of that plat. It's shown page 1 of 1 as an attachment, just to make sure that we're clear. The property in the left front corner is a separate building that I think the church had purchased some time ago that sits out near Stewart Mill Extension. That was one tract, and then the tract in the back, which is vacant, is the tract that was purchased from the post office. Is that correct?
That is accurate, yes, sir.
So now we have 3 tracts, and we want to combine them all into one as far as one parcel.
Absolutely correct, yes,
Okay.
sir.
And that is basically all that we're doing.
That is correct.
All right. Yes, question?
Can I ask what the purpose of that is? Why are we combining all those tracks?
Well, they had all 3 separate various reasons. Primarily, one is for planning, for future development, future expansion. Secondly, one was just to get everything up under one roof, into one entity, one name, under one umbrella, essentially.
And now it consists of 14.3 acres in total with the 3 tracts combined, correct?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question, comment?
Mr. Chairman, I had a question. Is the store, the refurbished, the clothing store, is that part of this?
It is.
Or that, okay. I was
Left
just
front
making
corner
sure.
there.
Left one, that's the one you were speaking of earlier.
That was originally a clothing store years ago, retail men's clothing store.
Thank you.
So that's owned by them now?
Yes.
Okay.
They had run
They
some sort
operate.
of consignment shop out of that, I believe, at one time.
Yes, Councilman, they operate a thrift store
Really?
there now, and from what I am told, all proceeds from the thrift store are donated to mission funds.
Yes.
Okay. And so everything will be under one address now?
That's correct, yes,
That is
sir.
correct.
Okay, very good.
Okay, other questions or comments? Is there any public comment concerning the item? If not, if you'll come back on Monday night, we will have a vote on that item. Mr. McCullough, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Next item, item D, refer to the zoning board a proposed amendment to the text of the zoning ordinance, section 2.05, to allow amusement or recreational attraction / indoor, except for fortune tellers, as a special use within the CBD Central Business District. Who would be coming forward to speak about that particular item? Would that be Ms. Littlefield? Is there anyone that had any particular thing to speak of? Ms. Wright, can you handle that for us?
I will. Michelle Wright, Planning Director, 6695 Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134. This is what we had discussed earlier in committee meetings, that in the downtown area, under the Central Business District, we do not have a zone that allows amusement or recreational attractions, not including fortune teller, of course. And then also, with some of these new businesses that are coming in, such as an escape room that are being in the downtown and entertainment for families, this would allow those businesses to come into downtown Douglasville.
And it's my understanding that we do have a business of that type that wants to locate in the downtown, and we need to prepare for them a zoning district for them. Is that correct?
Yes, we do have a business
Okay.
to locate downtown.
Question, comment?
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes,
had a
ma'am.
quick question. So the escape room, would this also, this ordinance change be inclusive of, someone talked to me about a gaming, like Not Your Mother's Basement is one, I think is in Decatur, where they would have a business and people come in to do gaming. Like we had a gaming business here before downtown, so would that be included? Is that considered recreation or is that?
It would be considered amusement.
Amusement.
I'm not familiar with that business, but, you know, we could take a look at it.
Attorney Hedge asked me about that. It's adult gaming systems, like you come in and play games.
You bring your Pokemon or you bring your Xbox or whatever and competitively play. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
No,
I was thinking adult gaming meant roulette and slot machines, and
Oh, no, not that.
Moving
that
right
would
along.
not be
Councilman
covered by this.
Siegel, no.
I know where to go to get that. Then.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
other
Thank you, Mr.
comment? Any
Chairman.
public comment or question concerning this item?
Down there.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
this would add it as a special use, not by right. So it would still, if somebody wanted to have a business under this zoning category in the central business district, they would have to apply for a special land use permit, and then we would have the decision on yes or no on that.
Is that correct, Ms. Wright? Is that how it's
That
written?
is correct.
Okay.
They will
Thank
have
you
to
for that.
apply for a special land use permit in the CBD district, so then it will be reviewed.
I understand. Okay. Anything else? If not, I'd like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday night. Okay, thank you very much. We'll go to item E. Consider a request for plat approval for the purpose of combining 7 tracts for a total of 43.28 acres at Preston Boulevard in land lots 616 and 677, District 18, Section 2, parcel tract 1 is 061618 2003 0003, tract 2 067718 20009, tract 3 067718 2008, tract 4 067718 20001, tract 6 067718 20003, tract 7 and 8 0616 1820005. Application by Pablo Garcia, Urban Engineers Incorporated. Come forward, Mr. Mettler. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, sir. Michael Mettler, City of Douglasville, 6695 Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134. I'd like to commend you on all those parcel numbers, Chairman. You got them all right. The final stages of the IDI Graisley project for construction is now before us. Combining these 7 separate parcels into one land unit will allow them to build their building, and until we have the approval, the city does not allow structures to cross property lines, and so now we have 7 separate properties and trying to combine them into one.
Another housekeeping item in order to move forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question or comment of council? Public comment?
Is this the Weatherby project?
This is the IDI project that was.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Any other comment? Public comment? Okay, if not, we will bring this forward on Monday night. Thank you very much, Mr. Mettler. Madam Mayor, that's all that we have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
We'll move on. You're welcome. Move on to the next agenda item, which is Parks and Recreation Committee. That's chaired by Councilman Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're
We have
welcome.
3 items tonight under Parks and Recreation. Item A, authorize the Parks and Recreation Director to advertise for proposal for a 10-year master plan. We discussed this on our agenda tonight in the committee meetings. I'd like to ask Mr. Landrum just to come forward, just to give us a brief overview of what we're trying to do here for the public.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Travis Landrum, 8830 Gurley Road, Douglasville, Georgia. As mentioned in our conversation in our committee's meeting earlier, we're requesting the permission to advertise for a 10-year master plan what this master plan would do for our department. It's provide us a blueprint of how to operate 10 years moving forward. Key components of this master plan would include input from our leadership and, more importantly, from our stakeholders and from our citizens. So hopefully with the approval to go forward, we will look for those that are interested in bidding on this to provide us proposals for a 10-year master plan for the department. And also a extra benefit to having a 10-year master plan would help us in our drive to get accredited for the department. So this is a key component that is necessary to achieve that as well.
Any questions that maybe weren't asked in committee, or any comments from council? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Landrum. I'd like to ask to put this on the consent agenda for Monday night. Is that okay, everybody? All right, item B. Adopt a resolution to authorize a rescheduled performance date for the Wednesday wind down of June 21st, 2017 to be held instead on August 16th, 2017. Mr. Landrum.
And yes, sir, this is to just asking the permission to move the canceled event that we had on that date to another date, extending it past the current date of August 9th that is approved prior. We're looking to have that on August 16th if given permission.
Anybody have any questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I attended the Wednesday wind down last night, and that was an amazing event. I couldn't believe the number of people that showed up, and there's no way that O'Neill Plaza could have accommodated that. So once O'Neill Plaza is done, we're going to have to think about where we go from here, have some discussion around that. As far as the one that got rained out, last night we had perfect weather, so if we could arrange that for the August 16th date, that would be great.
Councilman Siegel, you read my bubble. Ditto.
Is there any way that we can get numbers, approximate numbers of people that attended last night?
About 1 million.
I say about.
He said 1 million.
I asked security said about 2,500 with the kids. I never in my life seen so many kids and band-aids. They was running to Travis for band-aids, but they had a good time on the playground. Chief was out there last night. Chief, what numbers you give?
500, 600, somewhere around there.
400 or 500.
I was there. I mean, it's a great event. You're not going to be, like Councilman said, you're not going to be able to have that at O'Neill Plaza again. And if you want to keep going in the direction that it's going, I mean, stage there, the shadow of the lake, you have a perfect pavilion out there to do a whole lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Only your imagination gonna stop you, or that's the only thing gonna stop you, because if you don't, some of these other cities and counties gonna bypass you. But you have that lake,
Lakefront.
vendors out there, and you have the community out there enjoying it.
Plus
I've got a feeling that.
Plus it's a park, and there's places for the children to go and play while the concert is going on, and or have just some place to go.
I got a feeling that this will be a discussion that'll
Later
be
date.
revisited maybe later on. But I just would like to thank Mr. Landrum and the Parks and Recreation employees that get ready for this and all that they do, and also Councilman Davis and his efforts and bringing the music that brings the folks. So appreciate that. Any other questions or comments before
There
we
was
move
also
on?
a big part of the show last night sitting in the back row in the auditorium right now. Mr. Brandon Penniman was a great part of the festivities and getting the crowd involved and dancing and sweating and all of that. So good job.
That's trouble.
That's trouble.
Okay, Madam Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to ask a quick question about the dates. Of course, we want to accommodate all of the entertainment that we had scheduled for the series. Is this during school? When I believe school will have started before August 16th, and will it be any interruption as far as the subdivision that's behind the park with noise? Or that's just a concern I had. I mean, parents will make their own determination whether they should bring their children out or not, because I know it extends until it gets dark. And so for mine, when they were younger, 8 o'clock was bedtime, and I know it is beyond 8, it's around 9 or so.
Yes, ma'am, I do understand that. The dates at the end of the approved calendar do go into right when school starts, so they will be addressing that situation. So,
but there isn't any kind of interference with the subdivision with noise or anything when their kids are trying to go to sleep?
to my knowledge, we haven't had any complaints or anything. The sound is projecting away from the residential
Rosewood.
areas behind us, but at this point, we haven't had any concerns or questions about it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If I'd like to put that on the consent agenda for Monday night. Mr. Landrum, don't go far. We have one more item. Item C, authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with John Pearson for security services for the city parks for the period of July the 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018 for payment in the amount of $123,255.
Yes, sir. This was discussed in a prior meeting on June 19th. And again, this is just presenting the proposed contract for what we currently have expiring coming into July, our agreement with Pearson Security. So this was presented, and we also have Mr. Pearson here also, just in the event if you have any questions or if he would like to share any information. But we're looking to have that proposal approved if possible.
We have discussed this in committee, some of the changes. Any other comments? Yes, ma'am. Madam
Mr.
Mayor.
Chairman, I just wanted to raise the question. We talked about the additional security and other forms of security that we would have, and some of those things from the police department, if we have taken a look, or that I know that really doesn't have anything to do with this contract in particular, but the cameras and all those other things that we discussed, have those been remedied, or we're just
Mr.
coming to
Landrum?
conclusion? with
They have
that?
not been remedied, but they are being researched, and we will gather that information and present it to council to see what direction they want to go as far as acting on those proposals.
Yeah, so just to have that time frame covered.
Yes, ma'am.
Just that, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was also pointed out that the our police department, that particular zone, the officer on duty during that time would also, that would be part of his route.
Yes, ma'am. We will put a zone patrol for the officer that worked that zone, and with the lieutenant and sergeant as well. So we'll cover it, best we can on a zone patrol basis. I mean, we won't just go over there and just stay. Officers may go over there and sit and take calls from there, and they may go over there and do paperwork. We have a mobile station now that we can type in the paperwork, type in the report and send it off to the PD, but we will have a special emphasis on the parks. So we hadn't had any problems before. I think we could take care of that, and we'll just adjust as needed.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am. Any other comments?
Just one. Did you have a conversation with Mr. Pearson in regards to some of those ancillary things that he was doing in the past that he will be no longer doing in the future?
Yes, sir. We have had those conversations, and they will be addressed.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Councilman Watts, I just want to say to our Travis, I'm sorry, my brain is on overload from all the training this week. I just want to say that at Wednesday Wind Down, Mr. Pearson and his staff did an exceptional job with directing traffic. And if you don't get there by 6 o'clock, you don't get any parking. And they were fair. They were on the ground right at the beginning, at the end, walking around. So I just want to say they did an excellent job. they are doing an excellent job.
And they're giving rides back to the cars way on the other side of the ball field.
Oh, wow.
So
that's
we're the
nice.
last one to leave after we police the area.
And walking people back and forth to their vehicles.
There's no doubt that Mr. Pearson's security company has been a true servant to our community and been an asset. We appreciate that. Any further questions or comments? Okay, we will take that up for a vote on Monday night. Madam Mayor, that is all I have under Parks and Recreation tonight.
Thank you so much, Councilman Watts. We'll move on to Finance Committee. That's chaired by Mayor Pro Tem Larry Yaki.
No item tonight, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Information Technology Committee, that's chaired by Councilman Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No business tonight.
Thank you, sir. Maintenance and Sanitation Committee, that's chaired by Councilman Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item tonight. That's to authorize the purchase of a new HVAC unit for the old conference center at a cost of $10,641 from Carrie Moody Heating and Air Incorporated, and Mr. Roberts will address that with us.
Yes, sir. Greg Roberts, City of Douglasville Maintenance and Sanitation Department, 8578 Club Drive, or sanitation@douglasvillega.gov. This is actually two units, two of the roof mount units at the old conference center. As we all know, it doesn't seem like it to those of us who are familiar for the longevity of it, but that facility, those units go back more than 15 years now. And so it's kind of time for a replacement of a couple of them, but this is the, and you see the three proposals that we have there. This will be funded through the conference center budget.
Yes, I was going to ask.
Okay. Any questions?
Just had a question, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Roberts, were these, I'm assuming that these bids were all requested and all of them requested the same SEER rating units as far as air conditioning, the same quality of unit, and the same level of energy conservation? I mean, so
Yes.
that you add apples and apples?
Yes.
Okay.
Based on what we currently have there.
Got it. Thank you. That's all I had.
Councilman Siegel?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was over there in the old conference center a few weeks ago, and it's hot. I have no doubt that they need some new equipment there. Can you run us through the process by which the firms were selected to be invited to bid?
Now, my maintenance supervisor, the facility supervisor, contacted these companies. So basically, they all called them over. I think Carlos Underwood called one of them. But all of these companies came to look at the current situation, looked at the tonnage size, and based their proposal on what they saw and the work that would need to be done.
How three firms were contacted, how was it determined which firms would be contacted? That's what I'm trying to understand.
These
We've got
are
an actual policy process around that.
There was not an RFP done.
No, the unit went down, and we just called some HVAC contractors to come and take a look.
Is there a basis of cost or amount that you have responsibility under?
As Mr. Siegel said, it is hot in the building. They have been out of air for some time. In situations like this, it's $5,000+ piece of equipment. The process would be that we would contact folks to go and purchase the equipment and make certain that we have the three quotes. In this situation, I don't have signing authority over $5,000, so I have to bring it to you. So they would probably have been without air for, at this point, without even the RFP process, probably almost over 3 weeks.
On that line, then, Mr. Chairman, I'm assuming that these firms had done business with the city and were known to have done good work prior. Is that how then they would be given the opportunity to be on a bidding list?
Yes, sir. These are all local, reputable companies.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Siegel? Madam Mayor?
I was going to say, maybe to expedite the process and to alleviate any concerns that we may have, we can have a pre-approved list of vendors for certain things like this. I mean, because I wouldn't, if I'm renting, which someone is renting from the city and from the conference authority, you know, when I lived in an apartment, if you didn't do whatever, we could prorate and take money off and all of that. So they've been in a facility for 3 weeks without any air in Georgia heat. So,
Well, one of these units is actually in the kitchen area, so they were affected by the one unit, and so I'm not sure what the net loss was as far as temperature in the building.
it was a church. I was in. It was warm.
Okay.
It's warm in there.
And maybe it sounds like there's a specific issue we're handling here that we're discussing, but we may want to talk about adjusting our ordinances to alleviate some of these issues and allow, mandate RFPs in certain situations, go by a preferred list in certain situations, and then under a specific dollar amount, we can, rely on our staff or something like that. We can work on that. Can we add that?
We are working currently on a purchasing policy. The issue has been that once we open up one onion, another one unfolds. So it's taken us a little bit more time to work on the purchasing policy than we thought. Some of the recommendations may even require, in some instances, charter changes. So that's the reason why it's taken us so long. We haven't updated our purchasing policy in a very long time. Just signing authority is one example. In most cases, you'll see signing authorities for city managers $20,000, mainly because the cost of certain things like this in 2017 are quite different than they were 20 years ago. It would be your pleasure how you want to handle those, but there are just a lot of things that over time have changed to force us to take a look at it in a comprehensive manner. So we will be before you and hopefully address every single issue that you all have pointed out, because a purchasing policy should address all of these items.
Okay. All right. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I guess we'll probably have that in my committee.
Yes, sir.
One of my committees. Even though there's been a lot of questions, is there any objection to placing this on the consent agenda for Monday? All right.
And what I will tell you is that we wasn't that long ago, we kind of had this nailed down a little more in stone, and we had a previous council that didn't like that then, and so so we'll come up, I'll get with Ms. Hampton, and we'll try to come up with something again to try and put this more within a but even with asphalt work, a lot of times it can sort of get out in left field on prices, because the contractor that was really high last time is your cheap contractor this time. And a lot of that has to do, I'm not saying with HVAC, but a lot of times it has to do with the availability of that contractor, whether they can get to that job at that time or not. So they'll sometimes price it different based on if they're going to have to put something else on hold,
their demand,
to come and do the job that you've got at hand, because they know you're going to want it quick when it's HVAC in June, July, and August.
All right.
I'm just throwing that out there to.
Now, we appreciate your comment, and I'm sure you're going to be an integral part of us doing this new purchasing policy. Is there any other questions or comments?
Just want to point out that on Saturday, Councilman Watts and I took a class on policy development and implementation, so we're all over this.
Huh, okay. Y'all fill me in then. I missed that one. All right. Thanks, Mr. Roberts. Madam Mayor, that's all we have under maintenance and sanitation tonight.
Thank you so much, Councilman Miller. We'll move on to Transportation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember LaShawn Burdanley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have 2 items tonight. The first item is to authorize the mayor to sign an amendment to the city's contract with Exelier Construction, LLC, for a change order for the Douglasville Lighting and Banners Phase 2 TE Grant CSTEE-00009-00035 to reflect quantity reductions due to the conflicting project on SR 92 Dallas Highway fee reduction. And there's on your printed document, there's an error. You're reading $176,766.89. It actually should be $170,766.69. Is that correct, Ms. Wright?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Any comments, Ms. Wright? Why the change?
When we took a look at the math and adding it up, these two did not add up correctly, so it should read $170,766.89. just for, yes, it should be 6,000 less.
Correct.
On here, if you add on this sheet, the two together. So we will have that change for Monday evening. This item is actually a reduction on this project. When State Route 92 came in and did their road work, we are actually going up to where they're doing the road work, and they included 5 driveways that we were supposed to do in it, and coming in and putting new driveways in for those homes. So we have been able to reduce the 5 driveways out of the project and take that reduction out of the project.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good thing to get some reduction. Are there any questions or comments in regards to this item? If not, I'd like to place this item on the consent agenda. The second item is to authorize the mayor to sign an amendment to the city's contract with JHC Corporation for a change order for the Welcome Center. I think you're reading the Conference Center. Is that what it reads on your? I'm sorry. For the Welcome Center, TE Grant CSTE-000-10728 to add renovations to the Welcome Center. It should be Welcome Center all the way through. On your document, it states Conference Center. Back into the project for a fee of $247,521.13. Ms. Wright?
This is where we are going to be adding back in the Welcome Center portion, renovations to the T grant, and this will be done out of SPLOST funds, and the contract will go with JHC Corporation, who is out there now, and it'll also include adding renovations to the conference center, which would include a contingency fee, BSA construction administration fee, and allowance for furniture for this total amount.
For the Welcome Center, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It is for the Welcome Center.
And this also, we are still within budget, although there is a change, correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Are there any questions?
This is Dr. Danley.
Yes.
This is a sidebar really to the Welcome Center, but it's the same company, JHC Corporation. I would just like a preparation for a status report to let us know where we are on that, and if we are indeed going to be open by Chili Cook-Off. And just people are asking me, like, I've been there 3 days, I haven't seen anyone, and then they'll see them another day, and I know we have rain days, so just a status to see where we are, and a contingency, for if we extend beyond our time that we've said, it would be reopened.
Right. And I'm sorry, Ms. Wright.
I'm putting you on the spot, so you don't have to have it today unless you just have it, but if not, prepare.
We have had a lot of rain, and every time you get a rain, I believe we had 1 week prior to, I'm not sure if it was this week or the week before, of just full rain. So every time on a contract that you have your rain days and they cannot work, then it extends your contract out. We had some discussion today about the date and the chili cook-off, because Davina's been in contact with me, and we are looking at being able to be out there and use the plaza. She asked me about October 20th. That is our goal. However, since we have added the Welcome Center in, the Welcome Center will not be open, and we'll still be working on that portion of it. But the plaza should be able to be ready. Okay. And that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, and there's supposed to be 5 days of rain this week. However, as the mayor has requested, Ms. Hampton, can you please see how soon can we get a status report, possibly in one of our committee meetings that are upcoming?
We do have scheduled for next month Brian Cleveland to come in to make a report on their projects that they're working on. So the goal is to have all of your consultants that work for you doing periodic reports throughout the year, just like staff.
Okay, great.
They are scheduled on the July 13th, 5 p.m. committee meeting.
Okay.
Brian Cleveland Associates to come in.
So it's good to know that you're already a step ahead.
Madam Chairman?
Thank you, Madam
Or
Chair.
Chairwoman, sorry.
Sure.
How did we pick do we automatically go with the JHC Corporation? My question is pretty much based on the fact that they hit every utility possible in the plaza.
They were the one, we advertised this for bid, And we did do a bid opening. We advertised it when we did this project. GDOT requires us to advertise it approximately 3 weeks and then do a formal bid opening, and then GDOT has to approve the bid. And they were the one that bid on this project, JHC Corporation.
They were the only bid on this?
Yes, they were.
Are there any other comments? Comments or questions? No? If not, I'd also like to put this on the consent agenda. All right. There are no other items under transportation. Madam Mayor, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll move on to the next committee, which is Personnel and Organization Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have
You're
one
welcome.
item. Adopt an ordinance to enact Section 2178 of the Administration Ordinance and Section 18.3 of the Personnel Policies and Procedures Ordinance to provide a list of appointed employee positions. Ms. Littlefield?
Mr. Chairman, this is a housekeeping matter that I'll discuss with you further on Monday night's committee session, but know that it's not designed to make any changes with regard to any position being changed from appointed to not appointed or the other way around. It's merely housekeeping.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from Mayor and Council, considering we'll be discussing it in committee on Monday? No? Then we will take it up then. I have no other items, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Ordinance and Intergovernmental Committee. That's chaired by Councilman Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have 2 items tonight. First is to adopt a resolution providing that all candidates for municipal office in the city of Douglasville's municipal general election on November 7th, 2017 shall qualify for candidacy as provided by law with the city clerk beginning Monday, August 21st, 2017 through Friday, August 25th, 2017, with the hours for qualifying each day being 8:30 to 12 o'clock noon and between 1 p.m. and 4:30 p.m., providing for public notice of the same. Ms. Acker?
Yes. Hi, Mayor and Council. You have any questions other than it's going to be those dates and the qualifying fee is $387.
That's less than 2 months away.
Yes.
Wow.
You said the qualifying fee is $387?
$387.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an addendum item. It doesn't really have to do with the qualifying fee, but just for FYI, information about the signs and the sign ordinance. I think we were discussing that to see, because it would go in tandem with the day that folks qualify. I know that some people are ready at 5 o'clock p.m. on the last day with signs. Some people, and you know, they've been taken up in the past. If you don't put them on, you know, right at 5 o'clock, someone's for. What are we going to do about the sign? And that the sign ordinance is really can be cumbersome and a lot of time for the police department and code enforcement. So I know we thought we were going to talk about that or see if we can marry that up at the same time.
You do have an item on your agenda for Monday night to discuss what direction you want to instruct staff moving forward when it comes to issues with code enforcement, including elections, signs for elections.
Okay. Does that cover you, Madam Mayor?
You guys
cover
are,
your question?
staff is, that's good.
Right on.
Any other questions? All right. If there's no objection, I would like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday night. All right. Item 2, we have adopt a resolution setting the date for the municipal general election for the city of Douglasville to be Tuesday, November 7th, 2017, and directing the city clerk to publish public notice of this election, including offices to be elected and polling place locations. Ms. Acker?
Yes, Mayor and Council. Yes, there will be an ad. The publication of the ad will be September the 8th, and it will have the details about the early voting by absentee ballots and for the advanced voting in person. Those dates will be Monday, October the 16th through Friday, November the 3rd. And it will also have the polling places. There will be 5 polling places because of the wards that are up for election. It will have that information as well.
Any questions, concerns about this? I would also, if there's no objection, like for this to be placed on the consent agenda for Monday night. All right, and that is all we have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Education and Training Committee. That's chaired by Councilman Samuel Davis.
At this time, Madam Mayor, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir. Other business, before I open it up to the council, I just want to make a few announcements and some status reports. The first one is to thank all the council members. We had 100% attendance at the annual Georgia Municipal Association Conference. And I'm sure that constituents appreciate a council, mayor and council, that's trying to educate themselves and continue to move the city forward. So thank you for your time that you've taken out of your lives, in addition to several council meetings that we have in committee and special call meetings that you would take time to go to training. I really appreciate that. I'm sure that the citizens do as well. We have with us tonight a new reporter from the Sentinel newspaper. His name is Rashad McMullen. Did I get it correctly? No, come up please and then tell me. You told me and I thought I had it correct. So if you would please come up and introduce yourself. We're excited to have you join Municipal News.
Hey everybody, my name is Rashad Milligan.
Mulligan.
Milligan. Like Gilligan, like Gilligan's Island.
Should have said Gilligan. I
Yeah,
remembered.
I'm sorry.
Welcome,
I apologize.
Rashad, Mr. Rashad.
Right, but yeah, this is my second week at the Douglas County Sentinel, and excited to work with you all. I met pretty much most of you all last week, so hey again.
Thank you. Introducing you to the public, we appreciate you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Milligan is very astute in trying to get all the information. He came and sat with me on my front porch.
Wow.
I did not have we didn't have lemonade, but he came and spoke with me to get some clarification on an article he was writing. I wanted to let him know I appreciate that.
Very good. Very good. And that was going to be something else that I talked about or just made an announcement. Though it was a very successful meeting, town hall meeting for Ward 2 council members, Mike Miller and Councilman Mark Adams at Hudson's Barbecue, Hickory Barbecue. Very well attended. Lots of healthy debate. Councilman Watts and I were like, whew, we're not in the hot seat tonight. But it was really well attended, and it was a good, healthy crowd. The city manager was there and some other staff, Mr. Roberts. And so it was, you all can talk about it if you wanted to, but I just wanted to thank you all for extending yourselves to have a town hall meeting. Juneteenth celebrations went really well, combined with the city. There was a festival at Hunter Park, and of course, people liked the park again because it was things for their children to do. So that was well attended. And we have someone from Waycross, Georgia. Miss Candace, if you don't mind coming to the microphone for the citizens. You were shadowing Miss Chelsea Jackson. If you could just introduce yourself and talk to us about your future. We're proud to have you this evening.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I am Candace Howard from the City of Waycross. I am currently interning with the City of Waycross in the community development sector. Also, I kind of do a little work in the tourism and Main Street sector as well. And I have been here today, a full and jam-packed day. I have been shadowing Miss Chelsea. I have also had the opportunity to get some experience with the mayor and city manager. So I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity.
Yes, so graduate of Fort Valley State, for the chief graduate. We had to make sure we put that in there. Thank you so much.
Thank
Nice
you.
to have you. Yes, sir. And then an announcement for Tuesday. It's the 4th of July. The city of Douglasville will be closed, but we are having our annual 4th of July parade. It starts at 10 o'clock a.m. in the morning. It's going to be nice and wear cool clothes. If people have not seen in the paper, the Grand Marshal that I've chosen, last year we had longtime businessman, Mr. Bob Pope. And this year, the Grand Marshal is Naval Lieutenant Ricky Dobbs. He's a former quarterback for Douglas County High School, 2010 Heisman Trophy nominee. Played in that Army-Navy football game. I was on the Army side, but it was a good games that he played in. So we're really proud to have him come back home and be our Grand Marshal. We'll look forward to seeing Lieutenant Dobbs in his nice naval uniform. But we invite the public out to come to our 4th of July parade, and then we have festivities after at Hunter Park. So that's all I had. Is there any other business to come before the council?
Madam Mayor, I have two things. First of all, just since you brought up Ricky Dobbs, I got to coach him while he was at Douglas County, and he is one of the finest people I know.
Wow.
So that's a great choice. I also would like to thank, while we were down in Savannah trying to learn as much as we could, I don't know how many of y'all know this, but Chief Sparks had his officers checking our houses. My house was fine. I got a phone call one night, and my house was unsecure. Ended up being okay, but I just really appreciated that on Chief Sparks' part and the department. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Madam Mayor, I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to add about the town hall meeting for Ward 2. I wanted to appreciate all the city staff that was there. I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate Coach Watts coming by. Mark probably has the same comments, but the city did an awfully good job, and really appreciate Miss Hampton and Chief Sparks and Greg Roberts and everybody else that was there that helped guide the we had a little debate, but mainly
They
it
can
was
throw
information.
rocks or tomatoes at you or something. You said.
Yeah, Gary Till wants to throw. No, he didn't throw any rocks, but
No.
he's actually a nice guy.
Figuratively.
But anyway, thank you very much for the staff for assisting in that.
Yes, sir.
I'll ditto that, Madam Mayor. I was not aware of just how much work goes into it on the part of the staff and the other department heads and so forth that were there, but I really appreciate all the input. It makes it easy on those of us that are supposedly holding the town hall meeting. Actually, I believe the staff held it. We just happened to be there as the focus on that particular night. So thank you very much for all your hard work.
Thank you. Any other comments or business to come before the board, the body tonight? Okay, if not, we'll move on. The city attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dotson. Welcome back. Chief Assistant City Attorney, Ms. Susan Littlefeld.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief of Police, Chief Sparks, I want to brag on you. I couldn't get out of my class fast enough in Savannah. People were running up to me. Your chief is just great. They're trying to steal you. Don't leave me. But thank you so much for representing us well, and it's really you're thought of all over the state of Georgia. So we really appreciate your counsel and how you conduct yourself when you're out representing the city and the police department. Yes, sir.
We had our first health fair at Hollis Street this past Saturday, and we had maybe 15 or 16 people come by. We're going to do it again pretty soon. Maybe we got started a little early. We went from 10 to 1. I think we're going to do it from like
noon.
1 to 5.
Yeah, on a Saturday, you know.
On a Saturday, you know, we're like, okay. People were still in the bed. We was, you know, we was out there serving. But, you know, you learn and you adjust and you adapt and overcome.
Also,
Do it again.
Chief, you're having another town hall tomorrow night?
No.
We have something going on.
We
It was in the
having
paper.
a information sharing meeting.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to be July the 11th, where we're going to be talking about gangs. We're going to be talking about homegrown terrorists. We're going to have the FBI out. We're going to have the Georgia Department of Correction talking about the gangs in the prison system being released. We have APD talking about the gangs they have over in the Atlanta area. We'll have TSA talking about what they're seeing at the airport, and plus we'll have our gang unit. So that's July the 11th, and that's really law enforcement. It's what the vision is for us to get this information out to other law enforcement agencies so we can work together as one, combating this gang influence or counter-terrorist influence. So again, we're trying to spearhead this information here with the Douglasville Police Department. So But we will have another town hall meeting, so everybody be looking out for it.
Thank you, Chief. Your community policing is very effective on your things that you're doing as far as information and holding events at the community house there on Hollis Street. So we appreciate that. And of course, we know what affects the Atlanta region, affects the city of Douglasville eventually, because we're in the metro area and the airtropolis and that whole area with the airport. So thank you again for your report. We'll move on to the city manager, Ms. Marsha Hampton.
Yes, ma'am. Just to, again, to remind you all about the July 4th holidays and the festivities. So we will be open on Monday. I know some offices are actually closed as well, but we are open on Monday, and you all have a council meeting on Monday as well. We have on Saturday the Horseshoe Tournament over at Jesse Davis Park, which is an annual event that we always do during the July 4th holiday. And again, the parade, we will kick off at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Also, I would like to say a thank you to the Douglas County Chamber of Commerce. As part of on your agenda tonight, you did have an item that would allow for a change order to include the Welcome Center as part of the construction of the Welcome Center T grant, which means that as a part of that process, the staff members will have to relocate. In the Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Callie Boatwright has been nice enough to agree to allow our staff to work out of that office, which I believe having those individuals work collectively together is a good thing, not only for us, but also for the Chamber of Commerce. Tourism and Chamber, Main Street and downtown typically work together very frequently. So starting July the 10th, if you are looking for Main Street or tourism services, you will go directly to the Chamber of Commerce. So that's where those individuals will be working. And again, thank you to the chief as well. I've heard several comments about requesting the chief to serve on several committees with the Georgia Municipal Association. And as I have reminded him that his gift toward the latter part of his career is educating others. So he does that very well. That is a great gift that he has. Not only in law enforcement are we being asked to participate, we are also being asked to participate in our community development efforts. So we are being asked, there's some modeling that they want to do with us as we move forward to start doing some changes. So you'll be getting called on by GMA as well as some of GMA staff, but I do thank you all for participating. And I do believe that when we give, it comes back to us, so that's a part of it. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Madam City Manager. Now, this is a portion of the council meeting that we open up for citizens and delegates. And if you would like to have anything to say to the mayor and council, to the audience that's viewing, now's your opportunity. We ask you to come forward, give your name and address for the record. There is a form you should have filled out. You can hand that form to the city clerk, and we'd be happy to hear from you. So you can come forward at this time. Good evening.
Okay, my name is Ira Milston. I think we've had a conversation before, Mrs. Littlefield. We are a lien holder at
Your address, I'm sorry,
Pardon
Mr.
me?
Nelson, your address?
It's 831 Cobb Parkway North in Marietta, Georgia.
Okay.
We are a corporation in the state of Georgia for 24 years. We are a lien holder of vehicles. We sell vehicles throughout the whole state, throughout the country. One of our vehicles had the unfortunate circumstance of being picked up on a private property and towed in by, I guess, Fair Play Towing and Recovery, which is one of your actual vendors for the city of, I guess, Douglasville PD, as well as the county, as well as the courthouse. And in 24 years that we've been in business, through Cobb County, Fulton County, Athens, Savannah, Valdosta, anywhere in the state, in fact, out of state, the burden of proof is to show we are the owners of the vehicle when they're impounded. We get notification. We provide copies of titles, the actual contracts, hold harmless agreements, for the city or anybody that's actually shown that they're not responsible, so we can pick up our vehicle. We've never in 24 years had to get a writ of possession to procrastinate and to hold a vehicle for over 30 days more to accrue storage fees on top and cost us, which should have been $250 to $300 to pick up our own property, to cost over $2,000. Now, we did get the opportunity to try to reach out to the mayor's office, Madam Mayor, as well as we spoke to Mrs. Littlefield, who did not wish to talk to us unless we were represented by our attorneys, which we have Cooling Winter out of Marietta, Georgia. We contacted the governor's office to question the validity of this due to the fact that your licensed actual people that you have a contract with were in violation. Under section OCGA 40.11.2 or 40.11.1, if you wish to check that, they're in, especially on a private tow, within 3 days of actually getting our property to notify the lien holder or the registered owners that the property was actually taken in their possession. Well, they didn't do that. They're actually, licensed through you guys, or I guess they have a contract with you. They didn't do that at all. We actually found the car because we have GPS on the vehicles. So we tracked it. We found it. We contacted them. They said to us, "Oh, I'm sorry. We've had this car since May of 2015. Over 3 weeks, almost a month, they've had that vehicle sitting on their property." Then they turn around and say, "Well, you have to get a release from the police department." Just like we would do, just like any listing from any other police department, Marietta, Cobb, which is in Fulton County, and also they give, standard procedures. Copy of titles front and back, all notarized, hold harmless, authorization letters, everything. They showed up, we send our driver out, turned away for a little slip that says, "We're not going to let you have your property unless you go get a writ from the court, from the county." Contacted the county. I guess Susan Camp is is the chief magistrate judge. Of course, one of our attorneys is a judge in Cobb County. Said he'd never heard of that either. We called them. We had to go out there to get a writ. They said this happens all the time. It is an issue. We've had complaints about that numerous times also. A lot of the actual lien holders have to go out there, turn out that they don't even get the cars because of too much cost after sitting in storage and storage and storage. It's not worth it to them to do it, to go through that whole procedure. What was indicated to us by a letter that she sent to us, a simple 7-day procedure is not. You have to schedule an appointment to go down to file for the writ. Then you have to wait till they're served. Then you have to wait almost 30 days. Our court case is not until July of 24th of next month at $20 a day storage that the car's sitting there. Now, if we get a writ of possession, obviously, because we can't do that, then we have to have a court order for them to go over there with a sheriff to go pick up our property to get it back. Now, it clearly states, which is Fair Play Towing, which is one of your representatives, again, under contract with the city, according to law enforcement agencies of the county, you are the current owner and or lien holder of this vehicle. And that is verified by the Douglas County PD. It says right there. That they even verify that we are the owners, registered owners. So our simple question is there a way to change this policy? Or nobody knows who made the policy. They said the chief of police set the policy. Well, we need help on that. How would that policy be set? The state of Georgia says that we are legally the owner. The Department of Revenue says we're legally the owner. The law says we are entitled to get our property, and that is the law. You said you interpreted it differently, but the law does state that we are entitled to our property, and we can do it without having to go through judicial review, as well as the fact that anybody holding our property doesn't have to be the actual debtor at this point in time. From a ruling set in 1977 that's on the state books, that if the actual car is held by somebody else, which we have that ruling also, that they are, again, now become the debtor. We can go after them. That's who we're getting a writ after. But they're clearly in violation of what they're doing, and this has not happened just to us as a lien holder. We found out through Nolan, from Hill & Associates, and from other actual lenders and lien holders that this has happened to them in the past before. And this is a very big problem where your representatives that are actually repossessing these cars, or not repossessing or impounding them, are not giving proper notice to lien holders, don't give them adequate time to pick up their collateral, then foreclosing on their collateral. And inside the contract, sorry.
I'm sorry, that was your time.
But, and then they pull you out. Then they have the opportunity to sell your collateral out from under the lien holders, which is unjust. And it cost us a lot of money to do that. I mean, again, this is something that shouldn't happen. And just to let you know, we've been doing this for 24 years. We've been into Douglas County, Douglasville. We've had hundreds of cases on their dockets, civil cases we've done through, for deficiency balances and everything else. So we're not new to being in that courtroom, but this has never in 24 years happened. My question is, what is the necessity for that writ? Why is it so important to verify that we're the owners when they know we're the owners?
Well, Mr. Nelson, of course, this subject matter seems very complicated.
Correct.
And many layers. And so we do have a lawyer on the council, but we are going to have this legal matter, really looked at by our staff. Correct. And our legal staff and counsel, and they'll give us some information, and we can respond back to you in writing. Ms. Littlefield, is that adequate to say, or? I mean, as far as you've already given your opinion.
I did respond to Mr. Milstein's letter to Councilman Miller after speaking with the city manager.
Mhm.
If you want to revisit it, we can certainly do that in committee. And if you instruct me as a body to respond to him, I'll do that.
This is your committee, Councilman Miller.
A committee, whoever assigns it to, I don't think it's
Ordinance.
necessarily public safety, but it looks like we need to maybe
Look at the
ordinance.
Mhm.
I'd like to look at it. I've dealt with some of these issues a little bit.
Mhm.
I can only imagine how costly it could be for lien holders. So if we
Mhm.
could put it on for a committee meeting, if nobody else objects. I mean, I'd like to put it under ordinance.
Because it seems like a policy issue, ordinance and intergovernmental committee, just to look at it and see, of course, and have a better understanding. It just seems very, that there are several layers, and we would have to.
It's a complicated issue. I dealt with it from an attorney aspect and been on the other side of the issue. And that was a long time ago under dissimilar circumstances. So I'd like to get a different feel for it and make sure that we're treating everybody.
And all the companies, if it's Fair Play or whomever else we contract with, that they're all on the same.
Fair Play or whoever,
Mhm.
some of our vendors are not adhering to the state law
Mhm.
and providing notice. I don't know where liability. I'd like to look at this comprehensively, though.
And we've
Thank
given
you
you
for
we've
your-
given a copy of that, and actually, I don't know if you did get the original copy or not, but it clearly states you have 3 days to notify the lien holders, and I think Chief Sparks, you're aware of that also. You would know the law.
Okay,
And-
so it'll if you address the board.
I'm sorry.
The body.
And when the vehicle was impounded or picked up on the 15th of May,
Uh-huh.
he never notified us never notified us at all. Here's the actual letter they sent, the certified notification after we spoke to them. We found the car. If we never called them, he would have continued to hold that property until we would have called him, which would have been another month and a half. And then he sends a notification saying you owe us a month for storage fees and everything else, which you can't do. And don't give you enough time to file or do
Well,
anything else.
we'll
Yeah.
have to.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Oh, no.
But there are a lot of questions about abandoned property and some things. I'd just like to have a sit down on a committee hearing so we can address it.
And
You
that-
may not rectify, you may want to go ahead and do.
Well, we filed for the writ of possession. We actually were meeting with the chief magistrate judge. We actually got to go with Susan Camp. In fact, that's
Okay.
Address your issue quicker than.
well, that's the 24th of July. Again, it takes 30 days to do so, and we have a written letter from your attorney saying it would only take a 7-day easy policy procedure 7 days. Well, that's 7-day procedures.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
more.
So we'll look at it.
We'll look at it going forward, and I appreciate you bringing it forward to us.
Sure. So
Obviously, we don't want to put the city in.
No,
a
no.
position of giving somebody something that's not theirs. But we also don't want to be in a position of, our IRCRA folks, keeping vehicles when they're not subscribing to the law.
mhm.
Whole argument there. So just, if you can, I'd like to sit down and we'll deal with it. I appreciate it.
Would
Thank
we
you
get
for your feedback.
Would it be possible to get notification when that is, so we can actually sit in on that meeting and?
If it's public hearing. If it's not in an executive session,
Okay.
we'll be happy to
And
send you the information.
Is it possible that we do touch base? When should we contact you or try to see when that is going to occur?
Pardon me?
I mean, in other words, when should we, call in? I mean, when should we get an update? When should we look for that?
I can
3
give him a call
days.
sometime next week,
Okay.
once I get a look at the agenda.
Fantastic. Okay, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Sorry for your inconvenience.
We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? The floor is open. You can come to the microphone and give your name and address for the record. We'll be happy to hear from you. Mr. Penniman and Mr. Mitchell.
Madam Mayor, I object already. I know where this is going.
Well, on a higher and happier note.
Yes, sir. Please
my
give
name
me
is Henry Mitchell IV. My address is 7755 Mountain Creek Way, Douglasville, Georgia 30134.
And my name is Brandon Penniman, and I live at 1082 Abington Court, Douglasville, Georgia 30134.
Okay.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, we come to talk to you guys about our community development group that we have entitled Black Diamonds.
You give it to the clerk.
Black.
I'm sorry. Oh, our literature has to be given to the city clerk, and she'll give it to
Okay.
us.
Well, yeah, we have some flyers that we're going to give to each of you guys, but today we're coming to you because we are putting together an event called Unity in the Community Book Bag Drive. It's going to be hosted on July the 8th at St. James Church, right across from Willie Watkins Funeral Home. And what we're trying to do is work to send our kids back to school prepared and ready. We know that preparation is a major key to performance, and we understand just by the meeting today that you guys are very vested in making Douglas County as great as it can be. We see the money that you put into the Cultural Arts Center and into entertainment, and those are great things, but one of the biggest things that people look at when they're moving to a city is what are the schools like? And we want to make sure that our kids go back ready and make sure the scores are on top of it. So our goal this year is 1,200 book bags, and we've come to challenge and also push you guys to be a part of this initiative to raise 1,200 book bags and to be a part of this day, Unity in the Community, on July 8th. Now, I know you're wondering how can you guys be a help? One of the main ways you guys can be a help is by allowing this flyer to be advertised on city TV or on the city website. Also, we're asking that you guys donate some supplies and book bags on behalf of the city, or if you guys want to just give a donation and we go out and purchase the book bags, we can do it that way as well. And finally, we would request that you guys actually have a resource table at the event. Our big thing with this is to bring our entire community together and allow them to see you guys in another light aside from behind that podium that you are now. So we want them to be able to interact with you guys and see you guys. So the book bag drive is one side, but we also want to have fun at this event as well. So there's another challenge.
And with the fun side of things, we understand that we have a couple of singers on board. So now we want to make it fair across the board. So now we're having a lip sync battle, and we want you guys to get involved in the lip sync battle. So right now we have the county commissioners, we have the school board, we have, who else we have?
The DA's office is also on board. They've committed to being a part of this lip sync battle. And finally, we want to come and challenge you guys, and not only you guys, also the city police. We would love for the city police to have a team for the lip sync battle. We want all of our auxiliaries within the county and the city to be a part of this, and we want you guys to battle it out to see which one has the best lip sync ability, but ultimately to really bring that unity and for our community to see a different side of you guys and to just have some fun with you on a Saturday following the 4th of July.
Can the mayor just do cartwheels?
No.
Hey, that's not lip syncing, sorry.
That's not a category. It's not a category.
If that's a part of the performance, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Penniman and Mr. Mitchell. We appreciate all that you're doing in the community. We're really, lots of times people talk about young people not being involved. I know you're beyond high school, although you look like it, you're beyond college age, college graduates. So we appreciate you being involved in the community and trying to uplift and give back. Thank you so much for your efforts, and we will support you in some kind of way. I'm not saying that, but we'll see.
So is that a commitment to the lip sync battle?
No.
No, I'm not. I didn't say so. We're gonna support you in some kind of way.
We want
we'll
you guys
see.
there. We have a lot of other auxiliaries there, but we would love your support. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for the invitation. We appreciate it.
Hey, wait, do we get to pick the song?
Yeah, you pick the song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dogs out. I mean, whatever song that you like to do.
Garth Brooks to Migos, whatever you want to do.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, for coming. Okay, any other comments from citizens and delegates? Not seeing any staff reports. We don't have any staff reports. Anything else to come before council tonight? Thank you. Not having any other business, this meeting is adjourned.